like there are gunshots in the hallway. I'm a teacher in the school.
New York school, I think there's somebody shooting in here.
On the 14th of December 2012, police were called to Sandy Hook Elementary School after multiple calls were placed surrounding an active shooter incident. Upon arriving, they discovered one of, if not the most shocking sights that has left a huge hole in the community and has shocked the world for over a decade. This is the story of America's most disturbing shooting, the Sandy Hook Elementary School Massacre. Before this video starts, this channel is supported by my Patreon. On Patreon, you get uncensored versions of videos, early access to uploads, and shoutouts in future videos. Your support helps fund deeper research and keeps this channel independent. Links are below if you'd like to join. On the 22nd of April, 2012, 31-year-old Nancy Lanza gave birth to her second child, Adam Lanza, who was born in Kingston, New Hampshire. Adam had one other brother, Ryan Lanza, who was around 4 years old at the time of Adam's birth, making him the youngest in the family. The family lived in New Hampshire during Adam's early years, but would later move to Newtown, Connecticut. During Adam's childhood, he was described as a bright kid that was quiet and sensitive, being described in school as intelligent, a good reader, and having strong academic skills. As a small child, a few signs started to be raised surrounding his behavior. As a small child, he had very strong reactions to noise, touch, and changes in routine. This fits descriptions of sensory sensitivity and OCD, which he was later diagnosed with amongst a few other conditions that he would go on to be diagnosed with, like Asperger's syndrome and anxiety. In 1998, when Adam was 6 years old, him as well as his family relocated from New Hampshire to Newtown, Connecticut. This was as a result of Adam's dad, Peter Lanza's, new job opportunities, where Adam was then put into education, where I attended Sandy Hook Elementary School around the age of 7 or 8. This move was seen as good for Adam, with his mom, Nancy Lanza, writing in an email to a friend not long after the move, writing, "Adam is doing well here and seems to enjoy the new school." Whilst he was originally described as bright and as having good academic skills, he would begin to show signs of social difficulty as well as discomfort in groups within school. As a result, he became increasingly more isolated and uncomfortable in school environments during his early years. By the time Adam reached middle school in the early 2000s, he had been diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, which is a form of autism that interferes with social interaction. It was when Adam attended Reed Intermediate School around 2005 that he began to complain about the noises in the school, often getting distressed over the noises of students talking in the corridors. So as a result, his mom, Nancy Lanza, withdrew him from the school, transferring him during the middle of the year to another school with smaller sized classrooms, built to help Adam excel in his education. However, he only spent a few weeks at this school before leaving once again. In 2006, when Adam was around 14 years old, he entered high school, attending Newtown High School. He was considered academically capable, even being named to the honor roll in 2007 when he was 15 years old. During these years, it became apparent that Adam had taken interest into computers, technology, and history, with his classmates claiming he was quiet and reserved during school, struggling to interact with peers, with him avoiding any public interaction with other students. During 2008 and 2009, whilst Adam was in high school, he began to withdraw more and more from the school environment, with his attendance slowly getting worse and worse throughout the school year, with his participation in class decreasing as well. Reports stated that around this time, he would stop speaking to his friends and would stop speaking to other peers, spending more time inside on his computer. He spent all of his time doing this and gradually stopped attending classes altogether, completing the remainder of his high school years at home through tutoring and home study. In 2009, Adam's parents, Nancy and Peter, would divorce. As a result of this, under a year later, Adam would cut off all contact with his father and his brother, confiding in his mother, who by this point had taught him how to drive, with Adam getting his driver's license in 2010. Nancy also started to travel more, leaving Adam at home for days and sometimes even weeks. Nancy had an interest in guns, and as a result of that, Adam also did, with the pair even going to a few shooting ranges in 2010 and 2011. This in turn meant that guns were a common occurrence within the household. By the time he was 18 or 19, he had fully isolated himself to his bedroom, spending hours and hours researching on the internet and playing video games. He often spent time researching different guns, as well as mass shooting that had taken place, with it being confirmed that Adam had really liked the idea of one day potentially carrying out an attack similar. And it was at this point that maybe Adam Lanza would begin to think about carrying out one himself. There is no confirmed long-term planning, however, with it being alleged that Adam only planned the shooting around a month in advance to when it happened. In 2011 and 2012, Adam took an interest in Dance Dance Revolution and began to play games that would last hours, with videos even being still up on YouTube of passersby recording him playing the game. Little did these people know, however, Adam had been thinking about committing a horrific attack that same year, an attack so horrific that it would shock the nation for decades. In the days leading up to the 14th of December 2012, Adam had planned to kill his mother before then stealing her guns and taking them to his old primary school, Sandy Hook, and carrying out a devastating school shooting. December 14th, 2012 began like any other Friday. The weekend was just hours away, and most people were going about their day, unaware that this would not be an ordinary day. But what unfolded on that morning would shake the nation to its core. December 14th, 2012 would become one of the most tragic and heartbreaking days in American history. A day that left scars that are still felt to this day. At around 9 a.m., Adam Lanza would wake up, retrieve his mother's gun, and would lay in wait for her. Adam had planned to kill her, as she had multiple other guns that he wanted to access before traveling to Sandy Hook Elementary School. After waiting for a few minutes, he decided to shoot her while she lay down. Entering her room at just before 9:30 a.m., he retrieved the gun and would then shoot her 4 times in the head while she lay down, killing her almost instantly. He then took her car keys and her car and made his way towards Sandy Hook Elementary School. Shortly after 9:35 a.m., Adam Lanza, who was armed with his mother's Bushmaster XM15 E2S rifle and 10 magazines, each carrying 30 rounds, would arrive at the school. Lanza walked towards the entrance of the school. The doors to the school had been locked, so Adam shot through a glass panel right next to the doors and entered through there. Adam, who was wearing black clothing, yellow earplugs, sunglasses, and a green utility vest, began shooting into the elementary school. The intercom, which was running morning announcements, would pick up the sounds of gunshots, which were being played out loud on all of the speakers to everyone within the school. The principal of the school, Don Hochsprung, and the school psychologist, Mary Sherlach, would be meeting with other faculty members when they heard the gunshots. However, they did not recognize them at first. Hochsprung and Sherlach went to investigate the source of the sound, encountering Adam Lanza in the hallway. Lanza began to shoot at them, both Don Hochsprung, the school's principal, and Mary Sherlach, the school's psychologist. A third teacher was shot in the leg by Adam. She was then shot again and left by Adam, who continued on throughout the school. The teacher then lay still on the floor, and when she no longer heard gunshots, she crawled toward the conference room, where she then pressed her body up against the door. A 9-year-old student overheard the shooter shouting, "Put your hands up," and someone else saying, "Don't shoot." The boy also heard multiple gunshots ringing through the intercom. After shooting and killing both the school's principal and the school's psychologist, Adam Lanza continued to walk through the hallways of the school. After walking through the hallways for a few minutes, Adam Lanza gained access to classroom number 8. This was a first grade classroom that was taught by a substitute teacher, Lauren Russo, who had gathered all of her first graders to the back corner of the classroom, attempting to take the children into the bathroom where they could hide. While she was doing this, however, Adam Lanza entered the classroom and began to shoot. Adam Lanza killed 15 children within this classroom, as well as the substitute teacher. The only student who wasn't killed within his classroom was a 6-year-old girl who survived by playing dead throughout the shooting. Adam Lanza then walked from classroom 8 to classroom 10 and forced his way into the classroom. The teacher of the classroom, Victoria Lee Soto, had concealed some of her students in both the closet and bathroom of the classroom. When Adam entered, he discovered the teacher, who was in the act of locking the door into the classroom. Lanza began to shoot all of the children hiding under the desks, killing first grader Jesse Lewis, who screamed "Run" to his other classmates before he was fatally shot. Adam then shot 4 other children within classroom 10, killing them all. Adam would then stop shooting, with some alleging his gun had jammed, and others saying he made an error when reloading the gun. He then turned one of his guns on himself and fired the final bullet, shooting himself through the head killing him instantly. The first call to 911 was placed around 9:35 a.m., right when the shooting had begun. 2 minutes later, police were dispatched to the school, arriving at 9:39 a.m., 4 minutes after the first few calls were made. However, the police did not enter the school until 9:45 a.m. This was around 5 minutes after they heard the last gunshot, which was Adam shooting himself. In total, Adam Lanza took 27 innocent lives. The lives lost within the shooting included his mother, Nancy Lanza, 6 of the school's personnel, and 20 students aged from 6 to 7. Rest in paradise to everyone killed by this monster. My thoughts and prayers go out to all of their friends and families. In the first hours after the shooting, police initially believed the suspect was Ryan Lanza, Adam Lanza's brother, but that turned out to be incorrect, and likely happened because Adam was carrying Ryan's identification. Ryan was quickly cleared after cooperating with investigators, and he wasn't taken into custody. He later told reporters he hadn't spoken to Adam in years, and described him as someone who had become completely isolated. Adding to the confusion, fake social media posts and even a false interview began spreading online, so much so that Connecticut State Police warned people they could face prosecution for spreading misinformation. Inside the school, investigators recovered a large amount of unused ammunition, along with 3 firearms found with the shooter. They included a Bushmaster X M15 rifle, a Glock 20 SF handgun, and a Sig Sauer P226 handgun. Police also found another weapon outside the school, a shotgun inside the vehicle used to arrive at the scene. Photos from inside the classroom showed rifle magazines on the floor, including 2 taped together in what's sometimes called a jungle-style setup, meant to speed up reloading. Despite the evidence recovered, investigators reported something important. They found no suicide note and no messages directly explaining the plan or motive. And one of the biggest early rumors, that the shooter's mother worked at the school, turned out to be false. The superintendent of Newtown School stated there was no connection between her and Sandy Hook. Police also looked into claims of an altercation at the school the day before the attack, but state police later said they had no confirmed reports supporting that. According to investigators, nearly all shots were fired using the rifle. Only 2 shots came from the handgun, 1 fired in the hallway, and the final shot used for suicide. And just like that, in under 5 minutes, the tragedy was over, leaving investigators, families, and the entire country searching for answers. And that's where the investigation leaves us, a tragedy that unfolded in minutes, but left questions that still echo years later. If you found this breakdown helpful, consider leaving a like and subscribing for more documentary-style deep dives. And as always, rest in peace to the victims and strength to the families who continue to live with the aftermath. Thanks for watching this video.